Hello again my friends, this is the boy and his dog, and welcome to the channel where I talk about, play, rank and review games on the Evercade old and new. In today's episode it's time to complete our deeper butchers of the second Sunsoft collection with a complete ranking of all 7 titles and my final thoughts on the cart as a whole and how I feel it compares to the previous collections. You know, I've ended up doing a full review of far more than I originally thought I would in this set. And it's not gone the way I thought it would overall, so it's definitely been an interesting one to go back through for this ranking and think about. You may be a bit surprised at my final ranking. There could be a rolling eye or two, but as always with my rankings, it's not always what's technically a better game, it's always what I enjoy the most. We better get ranking. Number 7.
Galaxy Fight!
And yes, it's Galaxy Fight, a 1-to-1 simultaneous player, if on the VS or Alpha, fighting game developed by Sunsoft and released in 1995. Now the reason this is in 7th place is mostly down to my skill level. I just couldn't get anywhere in this game, even on very easy. There's a perfect example of this playing out on screen while I talk. But I love the style of it and the different playable characters, all with interesting movesets and animations. It's nice the arenas have an element of interactability and destructibility about them, and the zoom in is cool. And the soundtrack is goddamn banging. So I can appreciate everything that's gone into it. It's just how can I rate it high when I've seen so little of it. I think if you're good at fighting games, there's no doubt a lot to enjoy.
Ralph loses!
Number 6. And at number 6 it is Primitive Princess. A single screen puzzle platformer developed by Sunsoft and released in 1990. On the Game Boy, we like. A simple, interesting platform puzzler with a mixture of ingenious level design but added frustrations from invisible holes you can fall through. Quite charming to play, and there's definitely enough levels packed into here to keep you busy for a little while. Now I would suggest save states at the completion of each stage. There is a lot of trial and error, as there are limitations, for instance in the amount of times you can lay a block, and you can end up putting yourself in a no-win situation at times. From the off you can jump all the way up to level 41 out of 50, which is cool on return visits. And if you want a mad random challenge, but starting out I would recommend starting at level 1 as it gradually introduces its different features. It's also gorgeous to play on the Super Pocket for obvious reasons, but nothing for me that ultimately stands out. Number 5. And sitting in number 5 is Blaster Master Enemy Below, a single player platformer developed by Sunsoft and released on the Game Boy Color in the year 2000. Now this one was a bit of a surprise. I thought, oh yay, this game again, haven't we been here before? But it does actually do more than first appears. There's a groovy set of upgrades to attain and a different way to get through the game, but for some it may not be enough. I would choose this over the original any day though. number 4. And yes, in at number 4 is Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel. A single-player platformer developed by Iguana Entertainment, released in 1994 and a spin-off of the Aero the Acrobat series. Gorgeous to look at, great soundtrack with an interesting moveset that the game expects you to perfect probably a bit earlier than you are ready to. A little harder than it needs to be, and frustration stop it being as great as you know it wants to be. Number 3. And yes, in at number 3 is Aero the Acrobat 2. A single-player platformer developed by Iguana Entertainment, released in 1994 and a sequel to Aero the Acrobat which you can find on the first Sunsoft collection. Definitely an improvement over the original Aero with extra moveset and removing the level challenges which actually make the game more fun and not as limiting as you might first think. Just beware the frustrations. Number 2.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, and at number 2 it's Days Before Christmas. A 1 or 2 player alternating Christmas themed platformer developed by Funcom and released in 1994 and originally only in Australia. Now this was a big surprise. I thought I'd enjoy it from the trailer and the first look, but I had so much fun. I'm a huge sucker for themed based games like Halloween based and Christmas based. Icicle Works, I will once again plead Blaze for, please, it's Boulder Dash but Christmas, come on. How perfect is that? Okay, I'll shut up about it. I adored the advent calendar as the level map and the Christmas ditties in the levels, and then every now and then you get a fly over different cities, dropping bent presents down the chimneys as you fly your sleigh. Great stuff. Now I know what you're thinking, it's weird, this is number 2, I know, but listen to my train of thought here. It was just a simple game that was full of festive fun and much, much less frustrating to play overall than both Aero and Zero, and that's important. I know they look and sound and play much better, but it's a great big hairy butt. They have such frustrating elements to them that drops them down a spot for me. Just go with it, okay? And at number 1. And yeah, at number 1 it's Euphoria the Saga. A single player platformer developed by Sunsoft and released in 1991. I just really enjoyed this title. I love the different characters, all with different abilities. with more to find as you go. I loved implementing the new abilities to slowly unlock more of the world and exploring them further. Now, I probably spent more time with this title than any other on the cart, and I rarely got frustrated or bored. There seemed to be always something I hadn't tried yet, so I was almost always pushing forward, and the difficulty balance seemed about right to me. Yeah, definitely for me, the highlight of the collection. And finally, my overall thoughts. Now, there are 7 games in this collection, and 1 more than collection 1. We get some free thread with Aero and Zero, and another game to add to our Master Blaster collection 2. And overall, I feel we have the better versions of the Aero and Master Blaster series in this cart. So in many ways, if you're only getting one collection, this may be the one to grab out of the 2. Depending on your value of Mr. Gimmick, Journey to Silas and Arabian, Primitive Princess and Galaxy Fight. And if you like the Zero Master Blaster series on one of the carts, know there is more on the other, so definitely worth picking it up too. For myself, overall, just like the other cart released at the same time, Pico Interactive 4, I definitely feel this is a good overall package. But unlike the 4th Pico collection, which definitely for me has high highs and low lows, nothing hugely stands out for me here, but neither is there anything bad. It's just all kind of yeah. There is enough goodness to keep you busy. Just be warned, the cartoony looking platformers definitely become more of a challenge than they may first appear and are quite frustrating at times. I think 7 is a good number of games value wise. If there are some decent chunky games within, which there definitely are here, you won't get through any of these games quickly. So in the end, I think this is a good cart to add to your collection, but it may be missing that wow factor. And if you made it here to the end of the episode, thanks ever so much for joining me. Leave a thumbs up or comment if you'd like. Either way, I'm just chuffed your picture it in for a goosey gander. As always, I hope you're having the most awesome of days, my friends. And until next time, be seeing you.